Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to the final episode of Top 10 Week here on Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and I know the intro says Diecast Tuesday, but we're doing Diecast Tuesday's Top 10 on Saturday. In order for these vehicles to have made my list, I must have reviewed them this year and they not been on any top 10 list from last year. And I double checked to make sure that they weren't. Let's get into it! In our honorable mention spot, we have the Jada Toys Hollywood Rides 1/32 scale Mystery Machine. And, you know, this is really an iconic vehicle. I've actually seen several in real life. I'm sure other people have too, but, you know, I have seen several in real life. Now, one thing I do wish that they would have done with this one was, you know, some opening doors, which most of their 1/32 scale stuff does have opening doors, but this one has the side doors don't open, the back doors don't open. I just kind of wish that they would have, you know, gave it at least one set of opening doors, but because of the design of the vehicle, that might have been the reason why. But, you know, it does look very much like its cartoon counterpart. I'm sure there's some Scooby snacks on the inside there. But there we have it. The honorable mention, the Jada Toys Hollywood Rides 1/32 scale Mystery Machine. Here we have in the number 10 spot, it is a Jada Toys. It is 1/32 scale. It is Fast and Furious, but it is not a Hollywood Rides. It didn't come in a box. This one I actually found on the rack with just a little tag on it at a Lowe's. And, you know, I did check it out. It is Jada. It is 1/32 scale. And it does, in addition, have a pullback feature. Now, Jada, they also did a Hollywood Rides version of this vehicle. I was not able to find it. There is another, the Charger RT, I think it is, also, which is basically the same car as this, but a little bit of the paint details are different. But this one, to me, is just, it's a classic. So, number 10, Jada Toys 1/32 scale Fast and Furious pullback 1970 Dodge Charger. In the number 9 slot, we have the Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1/32 scale 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. And I have to say, you know, these, I'm not a big car guy, but I know cool cars when I see them. And this, you know, I'm going to say this about every vehicle on here probably. This is a cool looking, it's just cool looking American muscle, and they just don't make these anymore. Well, I mean, not specific, they just don't make cool American muscle cars really anymore. But this is the number 9 spot, Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1/32 scale 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. Here we have the number 8 spot with the Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1/32 scale 1973 Plymouth Barracuda. And again, a really cool looking car. I mean, it is just awesome looking. I just want to get in one and drag strip. Drag race, whatever. Go to the drag strip and race. How about that? But the number 8 spot, Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1/32 scale 1973 Plymouth Barracuda. In the number 7 spot, from the movie Back to the Future, Part 1. Is that what they retroactively call it now? I'm not sure. But anyway, the first Back to the Future movie. The Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Back to the Future Time Machine, made from a DeLorean. And, again, this is an iconic movie vehicle. And to me, this is the reason why DeLoreans were popular. This is the reason why DeLoreans remain popular, and people still want to take a DeLorean and fix it up and turn it into the time machine from Back to the Future. But yes, number 7, the Jada Toys Hollywood Rides 1:32 scale Back to the Future Time Machine. Here we have the number 6 vehicle on the list. The Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1:32 scale 1966 Chevrolet Corvette. And, when a lot of people really think of Corvettes, this is the model that they're really thinking of. And Jada Toys has taken hold of that because they have used this mold and repainted it just tons and tons. They've put Marvel heroes on it, DC superheroes on it. I mean, it's crazy. I think they even put some Power Rangers on one, or maybe 2. I'm not sure. But they have definitely utilized this mold a lot. So here we have the number 6 vehicle on the list. Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1:32 scale 1966 Chevrolet Corvette. Here we have the number 5 vehicle on the list. Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1:32 scale. I'm sure y'all are getting tired of hearing me say all that. 1971 Plymouth GTX. And again, I have to say, this is just a cool looking ride. And, I won't necessarily say this is an iconic vehicle, but it's cool as hell. If I were a collector of full-size cars, I would definitely have me a GTX. But there we have it. The number 5 vehicle on the list. Jada Toys Hollywood Rides Fast and Furious 1:32 scale 1971 Plymouth GTX. Here's the number 4 vehicle on the list. The Jada Toys 1:32 scale G.I. Joe Vamp. This is the Mark I Vamp, of course. Mark II was slightly different colored, and it had a 4-slotted rectangular missile rack on the back. It also had a roof and doors, which this one does not have. But there we have the number 4 vehicle, Jada Toys 1:32 scale G.I. Joe Vamp Mark I. The number 3 vehicle is one of the, if not the, most iconic stock vehicles of all time. The Jada Toys Smokey and the Bandit Hollywood Rides 1:32 scale 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. And ever since I originally saw Smokey and the Bandit when I was a little kid, and I really didn't care anything about the movie or what was going on, I just wanted to go to see this car. That's the only thing. I didn't care about Sally Fields, Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason, his turd son. You know, that was all just, it was window dressing for the car. Jerry Reed, he was in that too. He was the truck driver. If you haven't seen the movie, you should watch it just for the car. But the number 3 car on the list, Jada Toys, Hollywood Rides, Smokey and the Bandit, 1977 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Here we have in the number 2 slot, the Jada Toys G.I. Joe Cobra Stinger, 1:32 scale. I did forget to say that. 1:32 scale Cobra Stinger. And I have to say, this is, I don't know why, but I had this one as a kid, the G.I. Joe one, and it was one of my most used and favorite of the Cobra vehicles. And I know there were cooler ones, but this one, I just always went back to this one. Part of it, I think, was the driver. He was kind of colored cool because he looked different than the other Cobras. You know, but, you know, then again, a lot of the Cobras were distinct from one another. Of course, the G.I. Joes were too. But anyway, that's beside the point. This was one of my favorite toys to use for Cobra. And again, I can't explain it. It just was. But the number 2 vehicle, Jada Toys G.I. Joe 1:32 scale Cobra Stinger. And our number 1, well, my number 1 diecast vehicle for the year is the Jada Toys 1:32 scale. I'm gonna say this is Hollywood Rides. I don't know. I don't think it was actually branded that, but you know, it's a movie vehicle, so we'll say it's Hollywood Rides. 1:32 scale Batmobile from The Batman with Robert Pattinson. And he didn't sparkle in the movie, and neither did his car. And this is just maybe not the most iconic looking Batmobile. You know, nothing really beats that 66 Barris Batmobile. And then, you know, at least in my opinion, yours, of course, mileage may vary. And then my second runner-up, of course, would be the 89 Keaton Batmobile. And, you know, but this one, you know, it is really cool looking car too. And it's really more muscle car than Batmobile. Although, you know, it does have that flared, you know, back quarter panel that, you know, kind of helps with the idea that it's a Batmobile. But then it's got that big huge engine in the back that just spits fire out of everywhere and then jumps through explosions, and it was just it's a neat vehicle, and I think it's pretty cool. But there it is, the number 1, or my number 1 vehicle of the year for diecast, Jada Toys Hollywood Rides, the Batman 1:32 scale Batmobile. That does it for the list. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Remember, this list is my opinions. Your mileage, of course, may vary. Thank you for watching. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.